Hey, folks, glad you made it. I'm here with Brandon Strong. This is Todd with Tick Bite NC. I got Brandon here with me. I'm going to let Brandon introduce himself. Go ahead, Brandon. Take it away.
I'm Brandon Strong from Otter Creek, Florida. I'm one of the other people that got dogs killed on that property everybody's seeing that just got killed this week.
Yeah, and that was 8 years to the day, wasn't it? I did the
Yes,
math, and it was literally 8 years to the day that happened.
yes, sir.
That's unbelievable. We'll come back and talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about something fun. Tell me about your shirt. I'm looking at your shirt right there. What you got on there?
Just one of my kennel shirts. Bitterboats Kennels is my kennel name.
Yeah. You do a little hog hunting?
Hog hunting, coon hunting. And we just started doing a little bear hunting. You know, Florida just got out opening it up for us to do a little bear hunting.
Yeah, I was kind of amazed by that. They had shut you guys down completely on bear hunting for a while.
Yeah, the
And
first day they killed a quota down here.
really, they killed
Yeah,
everything the first day.
yes, sir.
I feel spoiled, man. My bear season comes in second week of November and goes out January 1st. I can bear hunt just about all fall, you know. I'm kind
Mm,
of spoiled already.
Where
Only
is it
got
at?
one bear tag.
Where you out of?
North
Oh,
Carolina.
yeah, Carolina. Okay,
North Carolina, baby. North Carolina.
I'll be up there on the 18th.
What you coming up Carolina for?
I do a big cooking. It's called a pig picking for Tom Garner.
Sounds delicious. Where is it?
It's on Hillsburg, North Carolina, right off of Spikes Road. It'll be about 1,500 people or more.
Oh my goodness, that's a fundraiser cooking, right?
No, I wouldn't say a fundraiser, just for all bulldog people to get together and have a good time, show their dogs. They do the wall climb, the treadmill races, they do all kind of events.
We're gonna have to put that out a little better. Give me the name of that again.
It's called the pig picking. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I was typing. I got a bad
Mm.
case of the man disease. I can't do but one thing at a time.
Okay.
Pig picking in Hillsborough, North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
I hadn't found anything. Oh, there it is. Tom Garner pig picking event. Got it.
Yes, sir.
So July 27th. What now?
No,
24th.
no, it'll be the 18th this year.
July 18th this year.
Yes, sir.
Be taking place in Hillsborough, North Carolina. Be making announcements regarding the event. That's pretty cool, man.
Yes,
So
sir.
if
Yes.
anybody wants to go, they got to buy tickets, or what's the deal on that?
No, they just show up and have a good time and eat free.
Man, you said the 18th.
Yes, sir.
You look at me until I like to eat, right?
Yes, sir. It'll be a bunch of dogs there too. A bunch of dogs.
Well, that sounds like a good time to me. That
Yeah,
sounds like
it's always a good time. Always a good time. We love it. Every year after it's over, we start planning again.
so. I got a question about Florida. You know,
Yes.
Florida closed that bear season's kind of slow on you guys. It opens and closes fast. Can you train the bear dogs out? How does that work? 'Cause
I
I
don't
can
think
train you.
legally you can yet. They haven't where you can with dogs legally, I don't think.
Okay. Well, man, we tree them and free them all the time.
Yeah, I got a buddy that lives in Tennessee, and that's what he I hog hunt him during the season, and then he gets them during their bear season and bear hunts.
Pretty neat. It's amazing that those dogs, they'll run a coon, they'll run a bear, and they'll run a hog. Yeah, ours will. Ours tree a coon.
But now my coon dog better not run nothing but a coon.
I hear you. I hear you there. Them boys I deer hunt with, which I say boys, they're my cousins, they're my family. A bunch of them, if the deer dogs get to running a bear, they throw a fit.
Yes, sir.
Deer dogs running a bear, I don't care.
Well, around here, the deer hunters, if they dogs run a hog, they usually call me, ask me if I need a new dog.
Really?
Yeah, they don't like it down here. Now you got some people that run what we call meat dogs that run about anything that'll run, but some of these older fellas, they like straight dogs.
They like them broke, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't mind a dog being a little trashy. I don't want him running trash every time he goes out. I don't mind him being a little trashy though.
Now mine got to be broke.
But they got to be broke, huh?
They got to be broke. If they
Well,
gonna run a coon, they better run a coon. If they gonna run a hog, they better run a hog. If they gonna run a bear, they better run a bear.
I got two tree and walker coonhound pups. Well, they're derby dogs now, I guess. They're about a year old. And I got a male and a female. They're litter mates. I call them the Wonder Twins. They look almost just alike. Princess and Chaos. And I think Chaos, rest his soul, I think he might be a possum dog.
Oh Lord.
He will run about anything you put a scent on him, but he'd be running. He literally was running a coon the other day. I saw the coon, I saw him behind the coon, and he crossed the path of a possum and he made a hard right turn and went to chasing a possum. I said, boy, we don't get no points for being a possum dog. You got to slow down.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So tell me about hunting Florida. What's it all about? I've hunted a bunch of places. I have never hunted Florida.
Florida shows the men from the boys up here. It's hot.
Well,
It's
it ain't
real.
North Carolina, you know.
It's hot. I do a little bit of hunting in North Carolina too now. North Carolina, South Carolina, I coon hunt up there. I hunt a lot. I go to the Grand American every year too.
Right.
And we do some hunting up there and stuff, but it's just hot down here, real hot.
Yeah, I get that. I was talking to this lady the other day. She was a little concerned. Told me she was going to the beach for the weekend, and she said she was scared because I'm on the East Coast of North Carolina. She said she was scared of sharks. She said, "Are the sharks real bad down here?" And I said, "Ma'am, I got a real simple way to tell you how to know about sharks." She said, "Yeah." I said, "Walk out to the water. You see a body of water. You walk out to the water and you dip your fingers in it, and you lick your fingers. And if your fingers taste salty,
It's
there's
sharks
sharks,
out there.
there's sharks in that water. But if your fingers don't taste salty, if it tastes like regular fresh water, there's gators in it."
Yeah, well, we got a saying like that too down here. If you put your hand in the water and it's real slippery, you better believe it's a gator there somewhere.
That's right. And my brother and I were talking about that yesterday, and he said, "You know what? Our gators don't really care about that salt water. They'll get in that too.
Yeah, we got saltwater gators down here too.
Yeah, they'll get up into salt water too." We had one on the surf right there in Surf City. Had one come ashore right out of the ocean and walk right up the beach. People out there sunbathing. You know, we import these Yankees down here to go to the beach, and they were all out on the beach sunbathing, and a gator walked right out of the ocean and walked right up the beach, and walked up the sand dune. And they were all standing there looking at him, taking pictures, wanting to take selfies with him and stuff. And I was like, "Yeah, that right there ain't nothing but a little kitten. I'd go pet it if I was you."
These down here is kitschy, and we're in a bad drought right now, real
We are
bad.
too.
It's probably the worst drought in 40 years.
I can walk across the creek right now. I think I can
Yeah,
walk. I think I can walk across the river.
that's about how it is here.
It's bad. So these two young guys were hunting down there in Florida. I can't pronounce the name of the town, man. I'm from Tick Bite, North Carolina.
It's the town's in Otter Creek, but they call it Elsie.
Elsie, that's what I'm talking about. So they turned their dogs out and said that one of them got across the property line. They were trying to recall him and said the dog got shot, and said they took incoming rounds. They were shooting at them. That's the story they were told. So that's the story I was told. So what happened with you, Brandon?
Pretty much the same thing. So uh, I want to say this for some of those people about, because I've been reading the comments and stuff myself, and why don't you stop the dogs from going over there and this and that? Well, for one, the new technology Garmin's right now, so you can click on a piece of property and it'll tell you about the property, like the property owner or whatever. Well, when you pull it up on your Garmin, it says Chiefland Timber, which the man that owns Chiefland Timber we went to school with him. But so for a long time, nobody knew that Chiefland Timber sold that property to him, because on the Garmin it still says Chiefland Timber. So, and in the defense of us, we were still legal to go. You know what I mean? Because they allow us to hunt that too.
Well, legal, ethical, those are two words that are important. And they're important on both sides of this thing.
Right.
Because there is no excuse for shooting a dog just for crossing the property line.
And so I don't know about now, which I don't think it has, because the last time I went out there, it wasn't. But when this happened to me, it wasn't even a fence up. No fence whatsoever. It was some old posts that had been there for years and years and years, but it's not even a fence. So, I see a lot of people say, well, why you let your dogs get on people's property and this and that? But if you don't got a fence, you can't stop a dog. And if it don't say the property owner on the land, when you click on it, then you don't know.
Well, people that follow me know that we got about 10,000 acres that we're hunting. And you know what I have big trespassing problems with?
What's that?
Turkey hunters.
Turkey hunters, yes, sir.
Turkey hunters. They won't stay off of it, brother. I'm telling you, they won't stay off of it.
I
But,
actually seen a bunch of people down here this year that went to jail in Levy County because trespassing for a turkey hunt.
Beats all I've ever seen. But a dog really can't trespass because a dog is not, you can't charge a dog with trespassing.
Yes, sir.
But we as hunters do need to do our best to keep our dogs where they're supposed to be. I do my best to keep mine on my property.
And I agree. You know, I've been on both sides of that ladder, you know, because I live in the middle of the woods, and I live actually, a hunting club surrounds my place. And I have hogs, I have chickens, I have horses, and I've had deer dogs come to my house and try to get in my hog pen, you know, and most of the time they be right there on top of them, you know, but I would never kill nobody dog, you know, no matter what he did, you know. I think there should be where they would catch people dogs and say, hey, okay, well, I'm going to call the law at the worst, you know what I mean? But a dog shouldn't be killed because he was on your place. And the law here on hogs is whoever property he is on, that's who he belongs to. So if that dog runs that hog off of my place to yours, of course he's your hog now, but the dog didn't know that because he wasn't running on your property when he jumped him. So the dog doesn't know that. And the dog's just doing what he was trained and raised to do.
Well, the hogs don't know what the property lines are, just like the dogs don't. And if you got wild hogs on your property and I'm your neighbor, them hogs is on my property too.
Well, they're going to go there for a safe haven anyways, because most people that know about the area try to stop their dogs from going that way. So I'm not sure about how much property is right there, but it ain't but a little piece.
Right.
And it's hunting land all around it. And we've hunted that land for as long as I can remember.
So when it happened to you,
yes, sir.
Tell me your story.
So me and my stepson, we went out one night, and actually I just paid for a dog. I don't never buy a dog, but I had bought a dog, and we took him out with my dogs just to see what it was, and they went out and they fell bayed, and we was probably about 240 yards from them. So, and you couldn't really drive to them because it's real thick in there. So me and my stepson, we left there, and we went to a pond, and just on the other side of that pond is the borderline. And of course, at nighttime, you can't see no borderline neither, you know, especially if it's no fence. But I did check to make sure we were in a pretty, you know, not really on nobody's land. Well, we were going through the woods, and we was about 80 yards from the dogs, and we heard a four-wheeler coming, and we saw the four-wheeler. You could see the lights of the four-wheeler, and he pulled up to the dogs and went to shooting. Bam, 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 and killed him. So, of course, I had a kid with me at the time. He was probably 10 or so, and he watched it happen. And so at that point in time, I called the law, of course, but my instinct was to go handle the business, but I had somebody else to think about that night, you know, and so we called the law. They came out, and then of course they called the game warden. The game warden came out, and they really never. And I had the police tell me, Brandon, they probably ain't gonna do nothing because they got a bunch of money. Somebody that I went to school with, and I didn't think I'd never hear that from somebody that knew me, you know.
Yeah, I hear you. So somebody you went to school with told you, oh, they ain't gonna do nothing to him because he got a bunch of money.
Yeah, and he was a cop.
Yeah, that's about right. Well, we got some comment cowboys in the comment section. Mostly just wanting to throw shade. I asked them, did they want to come on screen, and they got real quiet. It's amazing to me how that happens. Nobody wants to put their face to it. So you got somebody says, I miss you, Brandon. Lovely girl. I don't know. Got another one here says the property ain't little, and another one says there's a fence all the way around it. Well,
Well, it may be. It may be now.
I do know that Brandon was telling you a story that happened 8 years ago. So so I imagine things have changed. I know they got a nice gate up because
Yeah. Well, that nice gate's been up. That nice gate's been up. They've
But,
had that gate, but on the
good.
back side of that property has not been a fence.
Okay. The back side of the property hadn't been fenced.
Yeah.
So the people that are telling me all about it here, the entire property's fenced, all the acreage. So so when it happened to you, you said that, did you identify that? I don't know his name right now, but I mean, did you identify the person? Did the police actually do an investigation or?
Well, the police, so I guess turned the investigation over to the FWC. And about I think 3 weeks or 4 weeks after that, I get a letter in the mail said the state dropped threw out the charges against me. So they tried to charge me with trespassing, but how can you trespass if you never got on somebody else's land?
Guys making out like you can't see the link in the comments. Can you see the other comments there, kiddo? That all you see is guidelines. Can you see the other comments? There's a whole bunch of other people commenting. Can you see them? Wild man, wild boy, whatever your name is. I'm not interested in playing games. I'm really not interested in playing games. The links, I'll throw it on the Army of Orange Facebook page. How about that? You can just go there and get it. So they charged you. Did they actually charge you for trespassing and dismissed it, or how'd that go?
I guess the FWC filed it, and the state threw it out. Because I guess they knew if then it was going to have to pick up the other charges as well. Because the man took the collars off my dog.
Did you get your collars back?
Yeah, I got the collars and dogs.
You got the collars and the dogs back.
Yes, sir. It all happened so fast, and we were on top of it. So the man, when he shot the dogs, he went back to his house and got in his truck and drove his truck down there and threw the dogs in the back of the truck. Well, we were coming through the front entrance when he tried to come out with the dogs to, get rid of them. Well, when he saw our lights coming down the road, he threw the dogs out right there on the road and threw the tracking collars across it in the palmetto patch.
Tell me that again.
I said, when the man seen us coming down the road, the road's about a mile long, half a mile long, something like that. Well, when he saw us approaching him, it was me and the law was behind us. He threw the dogs in the ditch and threw the collars out in the palmetto patch. And then he turned around and went back in the gate and locked the gate back.
Well, ain't that something?
Yes.
Did they do any kind of investigation?
What up, guys?
What's going on?
Nothing much, man.
Nothing.
Look at that smile on that man's face right there.
Turn your
Hey.
camera on. We want to see you, man.
All right. There we go. Oh, there we go.
He's out there building four-wheelers, probably.
Well, I wasn't going to get on here, but I felt like I probably should just because I know it was 8 years ago. I was freaking 10 years old when it happened, man. And I still remember key things of it like it was yesterday. And as a 10-year-old boy when it happened, oh man, it honestly tore me apart inside for a little while. Like I would go out, I used to go to daycare or whatever. Well, I'd go to daycare and during nap time or whatever, I would draw pictures sometimes. They're actually in the TV20 thing.
I still have one.
Because I had seen the dogs in the ditch and I drew a picture. I had the truck and the dogs. I even had the go light and everything. But it tore me apart for about 6 months and it was really heavy on my heart and all. And it really, man, it was crazy. And we had those, they told us to save them. And then I remember one of our freezers went bad.
Yeah.
And then we didn't have them no more. And
but
then nothing ever was said about it. We did keep them.
Kept them 6 or 8 months.
We did have them. But I'll tell y'all kind of what I remember and key parts of it if y'all want to hear, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear it.
Well, I don't really remember a time or nothing, but I do remember I had some blue and green boots on. And they had a hole in them, and I was worried about that hole, as a 10-year-old boy would be, water getting in his boots, Well, I know we had went in the property with man that was with us. We were trying out that new dog Mr. Brandon had just got, and we were gonna make sure, because I mean, you can trust the man, but you can't trust him
When it comes to
as
dogs,
far as a dog. A lot of times you got people that tell you a dog's good with a certain pack of dogs, so you need to take them and try them. That's some of the things some people don't understand.
We
But
call it trust but verify.
yeah, yeah, you got to
They'll-
make sure they'll go with your dogs, because
that check
sometimes I've
wasn't
had
even cashed. The check hadn't even cleared yet.
I had a dog one time, man. He was so tuned into the man that had raised that dog, and the man didn't want to get rid of him, but he was in a bind. And I got the dog, and the dog just wouldn't do nothing for me. And I went hunting with that man, and that dog would perform for that man. It's crazy sometimes, man. But anyhow, we were coming down one of the roads, and I remember we come to a gate, and we were like, well, we can't go no further in there. And then we ended up getting on our map and looking and seeing, and it didn't pop up a name on the map at first. I remember him saying that. Well, I would always kind of sit in the truck, and we had the old Garmin, because this was 8 years ago. They didn't have the new Alpha Tread and all like they got now. We had the little bitty screen on the 100 Garmin. And we were looking, trying to figure it out, and then we ended up going around, and
From the backside.
there was no fence on the backside, and there was no fence on that backside. There was just some posts, and we were as close as we could get to the dogs. And man, I tell you, I ain't all about shocking dogs. And I think this was before they made it where you have to have shockers on your
Yeah, it
dogs.
was legal.
This was when they had the old dog things, but I don't remember if it was just that we didn't want to shock them and mess them up, or what it was. But man, we walked kind of in there to them, and about 80 yards away from them, we seen this four-wheeler coming, and I was like, oh crap, here comes somebody. Maybe that'll help us get our dogs or whatever. That did not happen, man. It took a turn for the worst. About 10 seconds after he got in there, man, a shotgun. Boom, 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 boom. All you hear, there was some, yeah, I remember old Nick. That was one of my favorite dogs. But he just went to shooting them. He had to have seen us, man. We had an old coon hunting light.
No way. We had two coon hunting lights walking in. They were brighter than the 4-wheeler light. So we saw him. We know he saw us.
Because that was another thing. We loved to coon hunt. But yeah, he had to. I don't know how he could have missed us though, man. But I remember I had water in my boots, and I was freaking out because I had water in my boots. But man, honestly, the dude shot the dogs, and I seen it happen. I'm like, oh snap. And I turned around, and we went to headed back to the truck. But I remember looking on the Garmin and seeing them dogs traveling at 20 something miles an hour. And I'm like, I ain't never seen a dog run 25 miles an hour and like seen it, you know what I mean? Like moving it like in a straight arrow line, like they were coming down them roads in there. And then, yeah, man, that's the only, I mean, I remember that. And then I remember getting around there, and the police showing up, and the dogs coming around there. And
Do
I
you
was crying
remember
a
when
lot,
the man
man.
was trying to come out? Do you remember when the man was trying to come down the road and saw our lights and went back?
And turned, as soon as he seen our lights, he basically spun around in the road and made a
Yep.
beeline back for that gate. And as soon as he got back behind that gate, we never seen him again. And we turned around at that gate and come back down the road and found the collars. They were thrown off in a ditch on the left-hand side. If you're going towards the gate in there, going towards the property, they were thrown on the left side of the road. And
Dogs.
when the officers and all got there, we got to looking in the ditch, and on the right-hand side of the road, there laid 3 of the dogs.
You remember I was the one seen old Nig.
Yep, they were laying in the ditch on the right-hand side of the road. And then, I don't know, I went back and watched the TV20 thing this morning, and man, I teared up. I was on the way to work, and I teared up, cried, because I was like, man, I remember all this. This happened. But I remember when TV20 did, because I rode on the dog box whenever we were doing that, and I had our little puppy with us, and we ended up finding the other dog, and I remember seeing him and tearing up then too. And it was just unreal, man. I was just it was something a 10-year-old kid shouldn't have to experience, because man, it was crazy. Because I fed them dogs, man. I helped raise them dogs up from whenever they were little. You know what I mean? It don't just, they don't go away like that.
That's a sorry situation for it to happen in the first place, but to do it in front of a 10-year-old child, that's sorry. So, this
crazy.
unknown person here that wants to go by, what's his name? Wild Boy Woody 69. That sound like anybody you might know?
No, sir. I don't really get on YouTube too much or nothing like this. I felt that it needed to be, I needed some things said in here. So
He wants me to ask Brandon. He's
Yes.
making the accusation that you've got animal cruelty charges.
I had charges pending against me. They tried to do that. I did, yes. But I didn't even stay at that resident at the time because I raised a bunch of pit bulls in the color of my skin. They tried to put something on me. Yes, they did. Yes, sir.
This is the same guy that said he was going to come up on camera and talk and do, but he couldn't figure out how to do it. His
Yeah,
last statement
people
was,
always
he
try
didn't
to
know how to do it.
people always try to find flaws and not what's the real issue. You know, I have people all the time, but you bet I didn't live at a place for 2 years and they tried to come there and find a case and tried to build a case, but they didn't try to build a case when the dogs were killed and had all the information that they had and all the proof that they had, and they didn't try nothing in. So you tell me, look at the bigger picture.
I got you. So I'm guessing them 5 charges didn't stick.
No.
Well, like I say, he come in trying to throw shade. He running his mouth. And when I said, hey man, come up on screen and let's talk about it, then he couldn't find the link. You found it, didn't you, Hunter? You found the link? You're here, so obviously you found it.
yeah,
And then when he found the link, he don't know how to use Google stuff. So I think he just run his mouth. But there's always got to be somebody like that. Always.
But you know what? That kind of stuff doesn't bother me. Because one thing about you have to live with your own self. If you can live with the things you do in life, then that you the only one got to live with them. You know, you got a lot of people that wants to throw shade and all that, but they don't want to look at the big picture.
Somebody in here talking about felony charges, liar, pants on fire. Click on the link and come up here and confront the man if you want to talk to him. Hiding in the comments, hiding your face. I don't have any respect for that. None at all. So the guy loaded the dogs up on the 4-wheeler and took off with them, and then
he came back in his truck and threw them in the back of his truck and then left because he couldn't have put all 3 of them on his 4-wheeler.
I've been told this is not the first time, the second time, or even the third time this has happened.
No, they've been killed before. It's more dogs, they just hadn't pinpointed and been able to be found.
Well, last I heard, they hadn't found these dogs either, or this dog either. He's just gone.
Yeah.
So I don't understand people. I don't understand. I really don't understand it. And if the story is like it was told the other day, that he toned the dog and the dog turned around and was coming back and the dog was shot trying to come back, that's just horrible. But this kid's hired an attorney. We're going to see what the attorney does with it.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Damn, Hunter.
Dimple. Hey man, I was just gonna jump on here and tell y'all my side of the story. I'm fixing to have to get off of here. I appreciate y'all's time though.
Okay, you too, Hunter. Love you, buddy.
Yep, I'll see y'all later. See y'all guys. Nice to meet you. Bye bye.
All right, Hunter, take care, man. Thanks for being here. So how do we improve? How do we get better? And what happens going forward? Is this person just going to be able to keep doing this? I'll be honest with you. He did what I would have done if the cops were looking for me and I was behind a locked gate. They didn't have a warrant. I wouldn't have come talk to them either. That's what I can't fault him for that. I mean, that's what I'd have done. I wish he'd have walked out there and told his story, said, yeah, I did it. And this is why I did it. And then we'd be able to evaluate what happened. But,
Right.
But
Exactly.
if I was behind a locked door or a locked gate and you didn't have a warrant, you'd have to go get one to come get me. So I can't fault the man for that. I can say that probably shouldn't have shot the dogs. You know who has the most encounters with dogs? There's a profession that run into dogs every day. Mailman. The mailman runs into dogs every day. You know how many dogs a mailman shoots? None. He might pepper spray them a little bit, but he don't shoot them. So that tells me right there that there's other options. Now, what do you say to the people that jump in the comments and say you shouldn't be running your dogs all over somebody else's property?
Well, and just like I said before, how would you know it would have been somebody else's property if it says if it doesn't say it on the screen, because you could tap on it and most of the time it does tell you who owns the property, but he must leased it first before he bought it or something. So it says just Chiefland Timber at the moment, or did back then.
Yeah, you're right. So here's the thing. Here's the thing with me about private property.
It'd be
I,
different also if it had a fence.
I got a little bit of property myself. If my neighbor makes an accident and winds up on my property, that's an accident. And I don't believe people should be punished for accidents. But if every time he cuts loose, his dog's halfway into my property every Saturday, every time he cuts loose, that's a habit, and that's a bad habit, and that's a habit that we shouldn't tolerate. But the idea of punishing someone for an accident, I'll give you an example. I left the house the other day, and there was some people working on the farm fairly close by. And when I came back, I'm not saying those people did it, but when I came back, my dog kennels had all been opened up. My dogs were in the wind. I immediately started trying to catch them. Some of them were off of my property. Some of them were still on my property. But somebody came onto my property and opened my kennels. That wasn't my fault. I got my dogs back. My neighbors aren't jerks, but my point is that accidents happen and you don't know what happened for that dog to be there. But I have said for 10 years, you can go back and read my writings for 10 long years. If every time you turn your dog loose, he's on somebody else's property, that's a habit. It's a bad habit. It's something you got to. It's got a full 300-acre fence. Good deal, man. Now we know how big it is. 300 acres and T-post barbed wire. So did it have it in 8 years ago? That's the question.
No, sir.
8 years ago.
It sure did not.
Well, it's got it now, but the question is, was it there 8 years ago? I'll
Sure
look for
did.
you in the comments. But I do appreciate the information there. So do you still try and hunt that? Do you still hunt around that property?
No, sir, I don't. We still have permission, but I don't go that way.
Right. So we've had some people in the comments saying that people hog hunt, always carry sidearm. I can tell you,
That's
I carry
haven't.
sidearm.
My grandfather hunted for 70 years, and we never had a gun. We always had a bulldog.
Right. So you run the catch.
Yeah.
I hear you. Well, I do carry a sidearm, and I haven't been known to hunt with just my sidearm, not even use my rifle. I've taken several deer that way. Now, I'm sure that the Facebook game wardens are going to jump in there and tell me how illegal that is, but I can assure, first of all, look right here at the hat. See that? That's where I'm hunting at right there. And there ain't no barrel limit or caliber limit or anything. The only limit on pistols is during archery season and muzzleloader season. If you carry a handgun to put the animal down, it has to be a 22. That's the only restriction North Carolina's got. So, so before you Facebook game wardens get in there and start telling me how wrong I am, everybody wants to throw shade on the people that got their dog shot. That's all fine and dandy. Do you support the dog being shot? Yes or no? Put that in the chat. If you support that the dog was shot just for being on the property, put a yes, I support it. And if you don't, put a no, I don't support it. Let's figure out where you folks' heads are. Everybody wants to. I notice you're still throwing shade, but ain't nobody. I'm looking in the green room. There ain't nobody there. My goodness, why won't you do that? So what else we need to talk about, Brandon?
That's about it. I just wanted to tell my part, and around this way, usually people pretty much stick together, but sometimes if your last name ain't somebody's, they don't look out. You know how it goes.
Well, somebody just asked where's the proof of the shot dog? Well, we're talking about Brandon's dog right now. We're talking about Brandon's incident. The proof of Brandon's shot dog was he loaded dead dogs up in the truck. That's what the proof was. Go ahead, Brandon.
We had the dogs. We had the dogs, all pictures, everything. We had everything.
So there's your proof. How's that? That good enough for you?
Listen, we got pictures of the shot dogs and everything. We got the pictures of the collars off of the dogs. Everything. Let's just say the dogs were doing something they need over there on this property and kill the dogs. Well, it's illegal to take a collar off a dog anyways.
That's true. And nothing came of it. They tried to charge you with trespassing, and
Yep,
just
nothing came of it. It just died.
well,
And then you hear a lot of comments. People say, well, they didn't do anything because of who you were. And then you got people say, well, you threaten people and all this kind of stuff and all that. And I said, regardless of no matter what, if I did anything, which I didn't, but if I did anything, that still doesn't get rid of the fact of what happened. But if I had have done that, what would have been the outcome, you know?
I'm guessing you'd have been facing charges.
I was contacted by FWC today, and they did try to find those boys' dogs. Imagine it, and the dogs were not located.
FWC contacted you today.
Yeah, because they were on the phone. They wanted to find out where he threw my dogs. Maybe they could find the other people's dogs at the same place.
Well, since we're talking about the other guy, and everybody's in the comment section wanting proof of this, that, and the other. He told me he was on the phone with 911 while he was taking incoming fire. So that means that
we were too. When they were shooting our dogs in 2018, they have it on the phone where you can hear the shots.
Is it the same sheriff in office now was 8 years ago?
Yes, sir.
Well, what in the world? So the FWC called you today, so they are doing a little investigation. They're about halfway doing it, I guess.
Yes, sir.
So there's this interesting thing about law enforcement investigations. They usually try and collect evidence when the evidence is available. They usually don't give you 24 hours and then come back and say, hey, let me see if we can find that evidence. That don't sound good from the beginning. So you're telling me FWC called you? They were asking about the dogs. That's all they did?
Yes, sir. Asked me about the coordinates for where my dogs were found at. Maybe they could start looking there for the other man's dog.
So a guy in the comment section recently said something that made me kind of look and go, that sounds interesting. He said FWC will climb a mountain, swim a river, and run through alligators to write you a ticket for a fish that's 8 inches long.
Amen.
But if somebody's been shooting at you, they'll stand outside the gate and look at it like we can't do nothing.
Yes, sir. That is a fact.
So there's a lot to be said to that. There's some money to be got from writing you that ticket for that 1/2 inch too long fish. Ain't no money to be made by doing an investigation like happened the other night. Ain't no money in that. There's money in writing tickets.
But they supposed to protect and serve, correct?
Right. Well, they
Yeah.
all had on body cameras. I'm giving them a little while to do something, then I'm going to start doing some records requests. I'm going to figure out what was on that 911 call. I'm going to find out what's on them body cameras. I'm going to look at all that. We're going to figure it out. People are asking questions. What about this and what about that? Well, I can only tell you what I know so far. And what I know so far is some people in the comment section got a lot to say. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing all right. Just still kind of trying to figure all this out. Luckily, we'll know a lot more, I think, tomorrow. FWC did contact me today. They're going to get my Garmin from me. They contacted Michael. They're going to get they already got his Garmin from him to confirm our tracks again. They're downloading the history on it, I'm guessing. We heard, unfortunately his dog wasn't found, which we were kind of expecting that. And I'm hoping they can pull something from the Garmin's here to figure out what happened or at least where's the caller at or be able to find the caller. I'm not sure on their end exactly how that works.
Well, we'll tell you this. There's a whole bunch of people in the comment section like they're running interference against you, Nick. I don't know what's up with that. I'd screenshot every bit of it.
It's
Make sure
okay.
the lawyer saw it.
A lot of
That's all
you
I'm gonna say.
I know a little bit more than the rest of these people do, and just it's a waiting game at the moment, but it's hopefully going to turn out okay. They're going to get it handled and situated, I think, from what I'm hearing. If you read it and watch the video and see my story, how many ever times I posted it or said it, it's very clearly there's only one here. So,
Nick, there was a guy in the comment section last night that was arguing with some people about the interview that you did, and he hadn't watched the video.
I've seen you post it, and
He hadn't watched the interview.
Most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I mean, it's okay to have an opinion, but maybe get some facts before you go to stating whatever the heck you're thinking. That common sense isn't so common, I guess. I'm not sure what their deal is.
Well, people are saying I'm only telling one side of the story. Here's the thing. If you're wrong, I got no problem throwing you under the bus. I really don't. Because I'm out for the truth. I'm not out for one side or the other. I'm out for the truth. So right now, I got 2 people on screen with me right now that are firsthand witnesses to some of this stuff that's happened in this area. Firsthand. This ain't your grandma's dog's brother's son told you something. This is you saw it with your own eyes. You can walk into a courtroom, put your hand on the Bible, raise your hand, and swear the oath that you're going to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, and you can tell your story and the evidence in court. These folks in the comments here that are saying, well, what about this and what about that? They're talking hearsay. They're talking about made up stuff. Ain't none of that evidence. You, and Hunter that was just in here, that's firsthand evidence. You can swear to that. So I understand that you can't tell everything you know. I get that. You should never tell everything you know. But you said that Fish and Game contacted you. They've got one of the Garmins. They're going to get the other Garmin. And I'm confused. Nick, I'm confused. Brandon, I'm confused. I'm confused about law enforcement being there and knowing that evidence needed to be collected and going home and not collecting the evidence.
And as crucial as it was to collect that night, I'm on the same page as you. I think FWC taking over was a good deal, and I think in the days to come, from what at least I've heard they've got, and of course they're not telling us either what they've got. They won't, obviously. They're doing a great job at what they do, and this is what they do. This is what they deal with. I mean, they know what happened. They're not stupid. They do this every single day. And for me to go public about this and be any kind of wrong and not expect it to come out would be ridiculous. But seeing the negativity is really crazy, being our lives were at somebody else's mercy at that time, and with Brandon's deal, I mean, just unthinkable. But what's really crazy is looking at our stories and the similarities in it.
You guys have got almost the same story. Let me address one of these cowboys in the comments. Said it's called needing a warrant. That's why they didn't go in. You need a warrant or you need an exception to the warrant. I know a little bit about this. Somebody's got their volume turned up too loud. I'm getting echoes. I know a little bit about this, probably more than you do. I'm just going to leave it at that. I said probably because I don't know who you are. You really don't know who I am, but trust me, and I know a little bit about waking a judge up and getting a warrant. You need a warrant or you need an exception to the warrant. I didn't like getting exceptions to warrants because that automatically the courts assume that your exception to the warrant is unconstitutional. And then you have to fight a whole battle with getting your evidence admitted into court because you went around the warrant. You have to prove that you didn't have time to get a warrant. So I really like to get a warrant, but it ain't that hard to get one. Your Honor, I'm real sorry that I'm waking you up. This is a situation I got. I need to go in and collect this evidence. You can have the warrant in about 15 minutes, and about 10 of that's waking the judge up and letting him yell at you for being mad. But it ain't that hard to get one, is what I'm telling you. So anyway, with that, I'm gonna mute my microphone and let you two talk a little bit about what's going on, and I'm just gonna sit here.
Yeah, so I did hear, Brandon, that you did hear from FWC today. I was just kind of curious on what they had told you or talked to you about.
No, they was there with Lopez, and they was just trying to find out where the man threw my dog that night, so maybe they can go there and look for the dogs and see if the dogs were there.
Gotcha.
Because he took them off the property.
Right.
They was on first place going to the place where they throw my dogs at.
And I'm guessing they obviously maybe have learned from that. I figured maybe that they surely found something today. I mean, had to have, obviously. I didn't think they would find the dog either. The way the color had turned off like he done, obviously was him trying to go ahead and get rid of it. This isn't his first time doing it, whichever one it was.
Right.
But in my opinion, he didn't do he didn't think of everything, for what I know. So, and that's all I can really say about it. You know, dude, I'm scared to go back there. The thought of even going back over there is kind of wild to me. I can't even fathom it right now. I really wanted to go in there maybe myself and get some pictures of the trees, the pine trees where the pellets had hit. And I started to head that way, but there was no way. I just couldn't do it. I mean, I just like literally shaking just thinking about being back in there and back there by that man's, even being on my own property or the property, you know, we had permission for. There's no way. I just can't. I'm not ready for it. I know that.
I've said for quite a while now that everybody needs to carry a little camera with them. We got a cell phone. Cell phones have got cameras on them. You need to remember to take it out, turn it on. And another little camera was not bad. I got a little small body camera that I can turn on. It'll run about 8 hours on a charge and record everything I say and everything I do. And a video camera with sound recording.
Yeah, we got the GoPros now like that.
It takes all the question out of it. GoPro battery don't last as long as this little camera I'm talking about. It looks kind of like an ink pen. But the battery lasts about 8 hours. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can find it.
I was gonna say if you could maybe post a link to that. So that's something that that's my next investment. We'll be recording every hunt from now on. Just for this reason. Unfortunately, even the cell phone deal with me being on the phone with the operator, I wasn't able to be recording at the same time.
Can you see that, Nick?
Just barely. I don't really see a name on it there.
We can't hear you.
Todd.
There ain't a name on it. It's just a little cheap camera. Ain't nothing fancy.
Okay.
It records in 1080p. I think I paid $45 for it. But it's just a little camera. It's got a lanyard. You can carry it around your neck. You can clip it on your shirt pocket. I put it on my hunting vest when I'm hunting, and you can hit a button and it automatically starts recording, or you can leave it recording, or there's even a button where you can just record voice and it'll record a lot more sound than it will video, you know.
I mean, that's crucial too. I mean, just the littlest thing just that in itself is crucial. And I know that now. And like I said, moving forward, everything will be recorded from the time that I hit the gate to enter a property. From then on out of me being there, I'll have it. That way there is no question and doubt. On the next one, they can go ahead and do what they need to do. And hopefully there isn't a next time now, don't get me wrong. But after this, any altercation at all, at least we'll have that.
Well, you know, it doesn't have to be a dog shooting. It doesn't have to be a negative altercation. It might be something that you want to show somebody because they won't believe you. For example, it might be you standing on your dog box with a AR-15 looking down a lane and a deer come out about 450 yards out there and you fold him up like a cheap lawn chair downrange. The reason I use that as an example is I've got that video from my dash camera in my truck and I didn't realize I had recorded it. But I tell people the story and they're like, oh, you're full of this, that, and the other. I'm like, well, let's watch the video.
Got it. Right.
Let's go look at the video evidence. And then they're like, oh, I don't even see the deer. Well, look real close. See that little speck down there? Watch it fall in the ditch. And then they kind of look at it and their eyes kind of glaze over a little bit. They get to going, oh my God, he wasn't lying. I usually don't lie, folks. So we'll put a bow on this thing and wrap it up for the night. I know the trolls are tired. You know what? If you guys want to go back and read the comments from the trolls, I'm gonna let you because I'm tired of this back and forth. Come up with some crazy.
I'm gonna pass on it as well.
Crazy mess. But I mean crazy mess. If you got some information there, lovely girly, just post it in the comments. You're not being cute. Just post it in the comments. So we'll see what happens with the criminal investigation and the civil investigation. And I think I'll just share a little bit more information, and then I'm gonna put a bow on it. There's been people in the comments talking about, oh, we're gonna sue, you're gonna get sued, and you're gonna get this, and you're gonna get that. I can tell those people have never dealt with the court system or never had to deal with a lawsuit. Lawsuits are interesting beast. When somebody files a lawsuit, you might as well get married for about 5 years, because there's going to be motions back and forth, and then there's this wonderful thing called discovery. Discovery is where after you file a lawsuit on me, I get to get all your records. I get to go through your phone. I get to do all that stuff because I get access to your records, because I get to use that information to prove that I didn't do it or not liable for whatever it is you said I did. So that's the reason you don't see people that got any sense running out and filing lawsuits every other day, because it opens you up under a microscope for everything you may have said or done. So maybe the guy will sue you because that would sure put you in his phone and everywhere else you need to be. And I will tell you this, these things right here, these right here, people don't really know what they do to you.
Yes, sir.
You got a phone with GPS signal in it, and you got a collar with a GPS signal in it. I wonder if those two things came together at some point.
Yeah.
That's something to wonder about, isn't it? You know, most
Yes.
people walk around, they carry their phone around in their pocket. They don't want to be out in the woods with their phone if they without their phone, because they might get hurt and need to call for an emergency or something. So if you got your phone and you're walking around with your phone in your pocket, and let's just say you happen to do something you shouldn't to a dog or something like that, and then you decide you want to cover up the evidence, and your phone that has a GPS signal constant going to the tower in it comes into contact with the car, and they both got GPS signals on them, you know, and then you turn the collar off because that turns the GPS signal off on the collar. But the last known point of that collar is exactly where your phone was. That would be problematic. I'm just saying.
That definitely could pose a problem. And you know, and if that would be a good route to take in our situation, and if they ever do ask for mine, they're more than welcome to have my phone. Just like my Garmin, that, you know, obviously they'll be picking up sometime tomorrow morning or afternoon or whenever I get that call. And just like your phone, the Garmin is the same way. It holds the information.
That's right. And so do the collars. If they locate the collar's got the information in it. That collar's got hunt information in it, probably from 2-3 years ago, if you've had it that long.
Yes, sir.
I updated my collars last year, and I was surprised at the information that was still in my collar. But yeah, we've got all these fancy technology things, and they all tattle on the constant. I've got somebody's phone's echoing bad. But yeah, that Garmin handheld, are you using what kind have you got? A 100, a 200, 300? What do you got?
I got
Oh,
300.
I'm an
You
old
got-
school man. I got the, what is it, the Astro 320, I think it is.
You running the 20?
We old school over here.
You old school. I'm running an Alpha 100. I'm semi old school. But that thing keeps you track in it. That's how it's able to draw that line on the map. When you're walking, it shows you where you went so you can get back out. It keeps up where you were. And even though that line disappears, it erases that line off the screen 15, 20, 30, 45 minutes or what you got it set for. It doesn't erase it out of memory. So they'll be able to show that your Garmin where it was at. But all I'm saying is that cell phone might be problematic. And you know, if you're watching the stream and you're like, oh crap, I need to get rid of my phone, don't bother. Don't waste your time. That just be another charge of destroying evidence, because they'll get the information from the phone company. And if you're using Facebook or YouTube or any of that stuff, it does location tracking and everything else. There's all kinds of apps. Your app that you order your McDonald's on, it tracks your location. All these apps keep your location tracking. So don't bother trying to destroy your phone to try and get rid of the evidence, because the evidence exists in so many other places, and it's just one subpoena away from being in the hands of an investigator. But I probably don't know what I'm talking about.
Maybe not.
I probably don't know anything about this stuff. I probably don't know how to do this. Probably don't know a daggone thing about it. I'm just a dumb, what I was called earlier, hillbilly. I'm just a dumb hillbilly in Tick Bight, North Carolina. I probably never been anywhere, done anything. Probably never worked for a 3-letter agency of the U.S. government or anything. Probably never did any of that. Probably never.
I'm not
Maybe.
convinced. So, I think I'm gonna hop off. I do appreciate you guys bringing me back on, Brandon. I'm really sorry about what happened to you. I don't know if I've even told you that in the last 8 years since it had happened. I didn't realize that it had been that long already, to be honest with you.
It don't seem like it though. It don't seem like
No,
it.
sir. Actually, I told
Yeah.
somebody it was 3 years ago the other day, and I got corrected on that pretty quick. I didn't
think it was
realize
8
that it
years
was the
to
same
the day.
property. That's
8 years to the day.
crazy. That's crazy.
Look, we appreciate you being here, Nick.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys. And Brandon, hopefully we can talk soon. You guys have a good night.
You do.
You have a good one, Nick. Brandon, you got anything you want to put on the bow on this thing and wrap it up?
No, sir. I kind of just, I already knew there were going to be a lot of people try to throw salt, but when you're right, you're right. When you're wrong, you're wrong. It ain't no sugarcoating it.
I want the truth. I don't care where the truth lies. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. This shouldn't have happened. Shouldn't have happened.
Yes,
And-
sir. I agree.
And 2 wrongs don't make a right. And I'm going to end this by saying, folks, don't be out there threatening people. It ain't cute. It ain't funny. It's a good way to get yourself in trouble. Don't do it. Or worse. Or worse. Don't do it. It ain't worth it. We live in a civilized society. We're supposed to have law and order. Let the police do their job, and the police need to do their job. And those, I'm waiting a little while. I'm giving it a little while, but I'm gonna go and tell you right now, I'm submitting the public records request for those body cameras. But there's probably some things happening. If FWC is wanting to get GPS data and stuff, they've got something going on. So I would say these people that were in the comments saying, "Where's the proof? Where's the proof? Where's the proof?" Careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. I think it's coming. It might be 6 months down the road coming, but I think it's coming. Brandon, I appreciate you being here. I'm real sorry this happened to you, and I'm sorry
Yes, sir.
that your investigation just fizzled out. And
Yes,
who
sir.
knows why. I might see how many records still exist for that 8 years ago. I know there's not going to be that many. Not the type that we get from today's stuff, but
Right.
thank you for being on. We'll
Yes, sir.
maybe I'll get up to Hillsborough and check that cookout out. That would
I'll
be
be there. I'm the cook, so I'll be there.
So you guys out there hating on Brandon, you know exactly where he's going to be.
That's right.
He's going to be
18.
in Hillsborough, North Carolina. He gave you the address and everything, so you can roll the thing back and find the date, everything. He's going to be there cooking. So
Come eat some
can't
good
say-
food.
and he said he'd feed you for free. Just show up. Let's talk about dogs and hunting and look at some pretty pits. And
That's right.
see, that's the way neighbors are supposed to be. That's the way neighbors were when I was growing up. Neighbors help neighbors. They don't find reasons to be mad and be mean and stuff with neighbors. Neighbors help neighbors. Thank you so much, Brandon.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a wonderful night.
You do too, man.
All right, brother.
All right. Bye.